Alright, so I have a 2004 Ford F-250 with a 6.0 diesel in it. It's been parked in here over the winter. It's covered in dust. But I need to replace the transfer case, or take it apart and replace parts in it anyway. It started grinding on me last fall. But now that it's warming up again, I found the transfer case on Facebook, so I'm going to go look at that tonight. So before that, I want to take this one out of this truck. There we go. So for the front here, my front wheels are still on the ground, so all I had to do was engage the locking hubs on the front tires to keep this from rotating. Now, since I can't rotate this thing, might struggle a bit getting these top bolts off. I could go back out and unlock the hubs and rotate it and then relock them, but I'm a little too lazy for that. I'll give this a try and see what I can do. I don't have a jack to take a transmission or transfer case out, so I just got my floor jack up here somewhat in the center of this transfer case. All that's left to do is break the bolts loose from the transmission, and hopefully it all comes down without crashing. I'll just make sure that I'm clear. Here goes nothing. Alright, new plan. The guy was supposed to message me with the address on where I need to meet him for that, there we go, and where I need to meet him to get that, to look at his transfer case that he had. And he hasn't replied, he hasn't sent me the address, so I messaged him asking for it, and he's seen the message, but he never replied, so I don't know what happened, but I'm just gonna tear into my transfer case that I have here. I set up a little makeshift work table out here, and this is actually my bench for my miter saw. I laid down this little, I don't know, fiberglass, whatever, to keep from marring up the table, but I'm gonna go ahead and tear into this transfer case, drain the oil, and see if I can figure out what's wrong. I have never opened up a transfer case, never tore into it, so I'm gonna be learning as I go. Now, see if I have a socket big enough for that. I'm not sure if... I don't think I do. Of course I don't. This is a 36 millimeter. Biggest one I have. Well, let's check this other one. That one's a lot smaller. 30. I wonder if it's a standard. We got 1 1/16. That's too small. Well, this one will do. It's kind of loose. I have this, I got this slide hammer from Harbor Freight. Hey, buddy. Alright, since I don't have a socket big enough for this nut here, I'm going to go ahead and break these bolts loose and see if I can slide the case, this half of the case off and get in there. Alright, so I'm going to need like a 38 socket, and the biggest one I have is a 36. Alright, so Harbor Freight, or Ace, doesn't have a big enough socket for us, so that means I got to run to town to Harbor Freight. Yeah, that's loud, huh? Yeah, it's kind of loud, isn't it? So I've got this just flat steel bar. I'm going to wedge it between these two and try and pop this thing out. Actually, let me take this cover off first. Of course, it won't fit between here, will it? Let's see what else I got. Yeah, here we go. Yeah. Now it's loose. Okay, I got like a hose in here. I'm going to pop this up and then the pump should come right out. There we go. So this is the pump. Still seems to be in very good condition. I don't see any metal shavings or anything like that. So now I have a snap ring in here. I need to pop off, and this shaft should come out with the other side over here. So, alright, so my snap ring pliers aren't big enough. They don't open far enough for to open the snap ring far enough to slide out. So I'm just gonna, I don't know, I got the one end of the snap ring up on the shaft. I'm gonna try and work this around. Probably end up ruining my snap ring, but we'll see if I can get it off. Nice if I could lock this thing up somehow.
Here. Probably here.
Yeah.
Look.
Alright, so I re-engaged four-wheel drive, put this hub back on, ran some bolts through the holes, ran this bar down over top this nut underneath that one into the hole here on the frame, clamped the bar to the hub with a vice grip so it can't come off. Now, can't turn that anymore. Alright, I got it off. They're not even anymore. What I did is I popped this end out and I put a pry bar behind it. I was prying this out, put a screwdriver. As I was putting pressure on this, pulling it out, I put a screwdriver under here, pulled it out, which slid more of it out, and I was able to go all the way around and pop it out. But that means I'll probably have to get a new snap ring. But now this is free. Should slide out the other end when I take this other side off. Yep, snap ring here. Hopefully it's not the same issue as I had before. Hopefully these pliers will open up big enough to get this one off. Yes. Nice. That is so much easier. Using this steel bar, I can wedge it between these two knobs here and hopefully break it loose. There we go. Broke that loose. Another one down here. Again, the inside is super clean. That's making me think that my grinding noise might not be coming from my... I'm hoping I didn't take this thing apart for nothing. That would be a pity now. So, when I'm driving down the road, I got a grinding noise coming from... It sounds like it's coming from the back end, but when I lift the truck up, put it in gear, and have someone rev the engine, I was, probably not the smartest thing to do, but, I was underneath the truck, moving around, listening for the grinding noise, and I used the mechanics stethoscope, put this up against different parts of the engines up to my ear, and the only place it sounded like the grinding noise is coming from was from my transfer case. It didn't sound like it was coming from the rear axle, from the transmission, anywhere. The only place I could hear it was from the transfer case, so that is why I took it out and tore it apart. But yeah, it probably is. I don't think this is supposed to be that loose, this belt in here. I mean, I don't think... Either way, I'm replacing this. I'm pretty sure that's too loose. They're not supposed to move that much. We'll get this thing apart and we'll see what the parts look like inside here. And then we'll make our decision on whether or not I made a mistake. I mean, the bearings don't seem to be bad. They were really nice and smooth. I am thinking I took the wrong thing apart. Misdiagnosed this thing. Truck. I mean, I can tell this is still looking good. The plastic around here doesn't look like any gears are rubbing on it. So, I mean, nothing... Everything still looks in good shape. All the different gears. Nothing appears to be worn, cracked, or even this thing. Yeah. The only thing I've found so far, I think, is the chain was, it's a little bit stretched, but I don't see any cause for a grinding noise to come from this thing. Let's take the planetary out and check it out. This snap ring was the easiest of them all yet. That wheel bearing in there is good too. Even these gears don't seem to be... None of my gears are in bad shape. That's kind of a bummer and a good thing. I don't have to get any new internal components. I just have to get seals and some snap rings, a new chain. But what that means is I still have a problem with the truck that I have no idea what it is. I suppose I'll just get this together, and I'm kind of thinking, since I have this out, I might get the transmission out before I mount this thing back in. The only issue is I'm not going to drop the transmission out the way I dropped this thing out. I'm probably going to have to go to Harbor Freight and get like a transmission jack or something like that. But you know, my truck's a manual, so I may as well yank it out and check out the clutch and the internals of that thing as well. Maybe it's coming from there, I don't know. But I can't. If you look, there is no wear and tear on any of these points here where, you know, it contacts this wheel. You know, this is the shifter, so it'll shift it wherever it needs to go, and it spins nice and smooth. You know, these plastic pieces here aren't worn out. There's no marks or grooves on the metal where that gear could have been hitting it. You know, the same for this little one with this gear. You know, there's no grooves on the metal anywhere, you know, where it's rubbing and it shouldn't. Spins nice and freely. Alright, so I'm kind of at a loss because I had followed that noise with my ear and I couldn't hear it coming from anywhere but the transfer case. Thinking I'll probably end up, since I have the transfer case off anyway, I may as well drop the transmission down and check out the clutch. I know my clutch is starting to go bad, so maybe replace the clutch. And I don't know if I want to tear into the transmission or not. I have taken transmissions apart. I went, like 13 years ago, I went to University of Northwestern Ohio, UNOH, for auto and diesel mechanic. And then halfway through my program, the university dropped me and a bunch of other students. They dropped our financial aid. And I went as far as I could, but eventually I couldn't afford it anymore and I had to drop out. While I was there, I worked on, we tore apart transmissions and put them back together, tore apart semi-transmissions, stuff like that. So, but that was like 13 years ago. But I guess we'll wait and see once I get my transmission out if I want to tear into it or not. But that's the end of this video for now. See you next time.